Hey everyone, Dan the Tuner with Motos. Today we're going to go over the install on our Dual Sport kit for the 2025 Sherco Enduro models. This is a brand new kit, so a couple differences from the old one, and today we're going to go over those and go over the install on it. So components of the kit, you're going to have your turn signal harness, front section of the harness. There's going to be an optional rear brake pressure switch, that's going to plug into right there. This is going to plug into your stock bike's taillight connector on the OEM harness, and these are going to be the connectors for your all-in-one taillight, which is already mounted in this. It's going to come with these spacers, long bolts, a lock nut, and a washer. The collared end of the spacer is going to go into the under fender, and then just snug it up. These are small bolts, you don't have to go crazy. This is a nylock, so just tighten them up. It's a 5.5 millimeter, and it's a number 1 Phillips. Euro switch is what we're using on this bike, which will replace the kill switch. This is going to be your front headlight adapter. So this is going to plug into the OEM harness where the headlight plugged in. This is going to be your new headlight plug, giving you high-low. These are accessory power, so you don't use those unless you want to plug in maybe like a USB charger or anything else you kind of want to plug in there. Something low draw, not a fan or anything like that. That's going to plug into the upper switch right here. And these are going to be your horn leads, which are going to plug in to your horn. Flasher relay, going to plug into the front part of the turn signal harness there. Your lower part of the switch that handles your turn signal function. This is the optional rear brake pressure switch. This is a kill switch jumper. And then we're doing fork wraps on this one. So they'll come with the hardware and a posi tap. So first thing, tools that you're going to need. You're going to need an 8 millimeter, a 7 millimeter, T-handle's nice, or a ratchet, T20 Torx, T25 Torx, 3 millimeter Allen, and a Phillips, and a good pair of snips to get around some zip ties and stuff. So you're going to need to take off basically your seat, side panels, rear fender, and headlight mask. You come over, so seat bolts first, pop those out. Then you're going to have a Torx here, a 7 mil here, and 2 8 mils holding them on. You'll have 4 8 mils holding on the tops here after you remove this side panel. The side panel just kind of snaps around the frame, so just pull that off. This whole tray comes loose before you can get to the back fender. So you're going to have 4 bolts and then 2 T25 Torx right here to loosen that up. And then the fender is also going to bolt down below with 2 8 millimeter bolts. And then you can kind of lift that up and slide the whole fender out. On the front, it's just rubber headlight mask straps. Pull those off, unplug it. So first thing we're going to do is route your turn signal harness. This connector is going to be up kind of in here. It's kind of hard to see where my finger's pointing. You're going to want to pull it out of here. And we're going to put everything back here behind this side cover. So it's all tucked away nice and neat, and you won't be able to see it. So you can plug it in there. Use some ACF 50 or dielectric grease. I'm going to go a little bit quicker to show you routing. So we're not going to do it all right now. But pull these back, you can kind of slide that harness up, and then we can take everything else for your harness, all your front stuff, up and through, and we're going to tuck these down underneath your main harness. You're going to leave a little room there, but just like that, and then we can pop those back down. And now we're routing, so this is going to get tucked back in. He's not doing the rear brake pressure switch, so I'm just going to route this back on, down and underneath, but otherwise you would route it down by your shock right here along the back, and then or excuse me, in front of your shock and drop down on this side back here, and you'd route the brake pressure switch along the rear brake line underneath the zip tie and come up in front of your shock, and the plug-in would be down in here. So you could also run it if you want all the way into the front. Either way is going to work just fine. So right about there, I think that actually works a little bit better. All right, so now we're going to feed the rest of our harness forward. So we'll undo some mounts here. You're not going to get into that mount, so we'll leave that one and use a zip tie. So this is where it gets a little bit tight. Pull these vent lines up. And see if we can feed these down. Okay, we're starting to get it all through there. It's kind of a tight fit. That's going to be the hardest part of routing the harness. But now that we got it through, go ahead, give yourself a little slack, and push these back down in here. And we can kind of secure it. Out of the way like that. So we'll throw a zip tie on here later on, but you just run it that way and down. Now we're going to continue our routing. That's going to be pretty tight in there. I don't think you're going to get it through there, so we'll use a zip tie along there. Follow your routing. And secure it there. Through the frame loop. Now you got all your stuff up front. So just to walk through again on it, down along your main harness, through here, that's going to be the hardest part. Secure some zip ties along there. Your rear brake pressure switch will drop down in here. And then back here is where your connectors for your tail light and everything are going to live. Probably tuck that back like that, like so. So now, mounting your tail light like early in the video, collar part goes in, small Phillips washer, nylock, 5.5 nut, snug it down, doesn't need to be super tight. You don't want to break a lens of a light because you're going crazy with tightening it. So just snug them and you're good to go. Now we can route this back up front. Down right here you'll see your holes for your connectors to go through. Kind of route them one at a time. little bit easier. Okay, so those are in. Have to lift that up. Kind of a lot going on here, so just be patient. Make sure your routing is going well. Your wire is gonna this needs to be sorry, it's kind of hard to see. The under fender is always the most fun part. Okay, there's a little tab right here, and then a couple in the back there and there to route your wire in correctly. So now we're going to have to pull slack back out. Keep pulling your slack as you slide the fender forward. There we go. Got to get that down under there. It's kind of hard. You saw me struggling with it. But that's all the way on there. So now you can bolt your tray back down and bolt your fender back on. So that's going to be routing the rear part and your turn signal harness. We're going to get this bolted down and not do that part in the video to save some time. And we'll jump back in and do the front components on this. Okay, so now we got the rear fender on, the side panel on. You can see your two torque screws up here. There is the non-collared bolts that go underneath through the sub fender and everything right here. And then you have the collared bolts for your top piece here. And then Torx bolt, 7 mil, your bolt there, and your bolt on the side. I left the other subframe piece, or the cover off on this side. So we did use some ACF 50, which is this stuff, anti-corrosion spray they use on aircraft, very good stuff, on the connectors in here. So that was your stock taillight plug. That's our harness plugging into it. This handles the turn signals off of the all-in-one taillight, and there is the taillight connection for the all-in-one taillight. There will be a little extension if you don't run our all-in-one taillight that adapts from this to the Sherco style taillight plug, and then turn signal extensions that'll run back. And if you ran the aluminum mini stocks, you would tuck those turn signal connectors under here. The turn signal lead with the black and red wire is the right turn signal. So we've got everything secured, ran forward all the way up to the front. So here's your connectors off the turn signal harness up front. Now what we're going to do is remove the kill switch. I'm also going to remove the light. This kills all the lights together while the bike is running. We're going to get rid of this and put a different style switch. It is not part of this kit. There will be a separate video on installing that, but I'm going to remove it while we're doing it right now. So you'll need your Phillips. And if you're going to do that light switch replacement to clear up some space on your bars, you will need a 3mm Allen too. So okay, so this purple and black lead off that 6-position Molex are your kill switch wires. I already unplugged them a little bit. They're going to be a little bit harder to pull apart when you do it. Don't pull by the wire. You can pull the sheathing back, pull by the metal part. You will pull wires out, undoing bullets by pulling by the wire. So we'll set this down. Now, like I said, we're going to take this light switch off and replace it. So always watch where your bolt drops. Okay. So on this one, you can just unplug this big Molex connector there. And hopefully we can feed this out of here. Let me set some stuff down so I quit dropping it. Okay, looks like you can feed it up through there. And through there. I don't know about that one though. We might have to bust the master cylinder off bars real quick. Ooh. Got lucky. Okay, so now we're going to grab headlight adapter harness. Hand me that spray, Austin. So this is where your stock headlight unplugged. So stuff's a little messy. Use some of that extra in the other one. And we'll plug in that, and we'll grab our Euro switch and get it mounted on the bars. Tools I didn't mention for Euro switch: 4mm Allen, 6mm. So I'm going to grab those. Okay, just like so. That started. I like to get the back tight. I also like my switch to be up at an angle a little bit, 'cause it's easier to use in riding position. You don't need to over tighten these, but start with the back and then cinch the front of your switch up. Not super tight, just make sure you got good movement on your turn signal button there. So now we'll route wires down. One came out, so we should be able to get the other one in. Okay, I'm going to make this easy. We're going to pop that loose. ourselves a little bit of room. There we go. All right, so switch mounted. Now we've already mounted the fork wraps. You can see there's room to come up with the connector through here, through the triple on that side. On the other side, because of this, it's going to run up and around the back, basically. And grab the wire. We'll run it up like that, back there. So, if you take your turn signal harness leads, and this is going to be the left signal, so that's red, that's going to be your right. Left is going to be purple. And the red wires are a posi-tap connection, and we'll show you how to wire that in, which wire to go to. We've mounted flasher relay up here. I'm probably going to throw one more zip tie over the top as well, but it's a nice little kind of pocket for it to sit. So we'll do one more over the top. This is going to be your connector for the turn signal harness portion. Like so. That's going to go to your headlight adapter. Alright, like so. And then this is going to be your flasher relay coming off the turn signal harness, which is plugged sitting over here. Okay, so that's how everything's going to plug there. Remember, these are auxiliary leads. This is going to be your horn lead for that, which are these leads off the headlight adapter harness. We'll run them back and down and connect into there. Probably, let's see if I can get them through right there. I think I will be once I organize and zip tie everything. So I'm going to go through, zip tie and organize all this, which takes a little bit of time, so I'm not going to film it all. And then we'll jump back in for the final button up on the bike and a systems check and how everything should work. So, all right, so got everything kind of organized. You know, this is kind of all personal preference, but we're going to tuck this back here. I'm going to go over posi-tap install. This is the daytime running light feature on your turn signals. It's these two red wires. Strip it about that far back. I like to twist the wires together. I'm going to run them down along here and zip tie it like that, keep them kind of out of the way. So the red wire, that's your auxiliary power right there, that's where you want to tie in your daytime running lights. So strip back, I honestly just use my teeth to do this. You can use, it's pretty small gauge wire, it's like 26. You can use a stripper, but your teeth work fine too. So kind of try to spin those together. And then I like to fold them over like so. So you got good wire going there. And on this posi-tap, unscrew the red part on the bottom, feed that through like that, and then screw it back together. Okay, give it a little tug and we're good. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to run it along there. Now the other way this posi-tap works, and we can kind of, once you have the posi-tap on, you can use it to kind of twist your wires and get them to stay together there. So you're going to take the gray cap off, and you're going to go around that wire, like so. And then what this does is it actually pierces the wire a little bit. Push down, get it started, and then thread it in. You can see it kind of. You don't got to go crazy. That's plenty tight right there. And then with the coiled stuff, we'll just kind of loosely zip tie that right up there. That's your posi tap. So red wire for the auxiliary power off the headlight adapter harness. That's how you plug that guy in. So your kill switch jumper is the other piece. So off of your switch here, you're gonna have this yellow and black wire. In your kit, you're gonna get a 2.5-inch lead with female bullets on each end. This is gonna look different than the factory one, but what you wanna do is the purple wire off the factory one, or if you have our, switch delete up here on the bars on there, you just wanna make sure that goes to the purple wire. There we are, we're connected, and you can kind of just tuck that out of the way. So, only other thing we didn't cover earlier in the video is the horn mounting. I said I was going to mount it over here. It does not work with these radiator guards, but Sherco has this spot to mount a horn. So, the kit will come with a bolt and a nut. You just mount the horn right here. On the back of the horn, which is kind of hard to see, tilt the camera a little bit, right here, there's a nut. You can loosen that and rotate this bracket to get your horn where you want it for your wires, and you can see we got the wire running kind of up and through the factory guide there. So now we'll throw the headlight on and we'll do a systems check on this. So this is our switch relocation. So we'll plug that into there, and we'll plug headlight in, and we'll put the headlight back onto the bike. There we go. Make sure the rubber straps aren't grabbing into your wiring. Okay, there we go. Now we'll fire this thing off. So high-low. Horn, you got your daytime running lights. There's your left signal, the right signal. If we go to the back of the bike, brake light, and then left signal and right signal, and your new kill switch. So that is a full install of the Dual Sport kit. And then we're going to jump into a hidden kill switch, which is going to be another option for the new 25 Shercos. We have it for the 24 and back Shercos, as well as that light switch replacement to clear up your handlebars right here. So thanks for joining us and checking out the video.